Have you ever wondered how soldiers went from walking in straight lines into battle to the strategy we have today?
Hi, I'm Bidoli, and for the past year I've been researching Ulysses S Grant, a man who revolutionized the way we think of battle. A simple man born in Ohio, became the Union general who won the Civil War and later even became a president.
Grant was born in Point Pleasant, Ohio in 1822 as Hiram Ulysses Grant. Grant loved horses from a very young age and was very good at horseback riding. When Grant was 17, he was signed up for West Point by his father, which Grant was furious about because he did not want to become a soldier. However, Grant was overpowered and was forced to go to West Point, where he decided to make a quick name change to Ulysses Hiram Grant. However, someone at West Point messed up his name and he officially became Ulysses S Grant, which his friends at West Point jokingly nicknamed him U.S. Grant. Unlike many other great generals of the time, Grant finished in the middle of his class, at 21 of 39. However, Grant finished at the very top of the class in horseback riding. In the Mexican-American War, Grant was assigned as a quartermaster under Generals Zachary Taylor and Winfield Scott. Being a quartermaster ashamed Grant because while his fellow soldiers were out there risking their lives, Grant was stuck in a camp. However, in the few battles that Grant did see, such as the Battle of Monterrey, Grant showed great heroics. In this battle, Grant rode on the side of a horse, effectively using it as a shield to get more ammunition for the Americans. In between the Mexican-American War and the Civil War, Grant married Julia Dent. He continued to be a soldier to provide for his wife and his coming children. When Grant was stationed in California, he developed a drinking problem because he was so far away from his family and missed them so much. When Grant was threatened to be court-martialed because of his new drinking problem, he resigned and returned home. Grant went almost poor when he freed the slave he inherited from Julia Dent's father. Even though the slave that Grant had set free stayed with Grant and helped him out, he couldn't do much, and Grant was forced to work at his father's tanning shop until the outbreak of the Civil War. At the outbreak of the Civil War, Grant returned to be a soldier for the Union and won some of the first battles of the Civil War, including the captures of Fort Donelson and Fort Henry. Unfortunately, at the Battle of Shiloh, when Grant lost 23,000 men in a surprise attack, Lincoln demoted him because the people were very angry with Grant for losing so much men, even though Grant won the battle altogether. In 1863, when Grant was again given a chance to prove himself, he delivered and captured the entire Mississippi River, ending with the Siege of Vicksburg, which effectively split the entire Confederate States in two. Lincoln was again pleased with Grant and moved Grant to try and capture Richmond, the capital of the Confederate States. It took a year and a half, but Grant eventually cornered Robert E. Lee and made him surrender, ending the Civil War. Grant won both presidential elections in a sweeping victory because the North liked him because he won the Civil War for them, and the South liked him because when Lee surrendered the Civil War, Grant gave the South back their freedoms and didn't hold anyone prisoner at all. Although we remember Grant's presidency for all the scandals that took place in it, which Grant himself did not take part in, we should have remembered what Grant mainly did, which was Reconstruction. Reconstruction is a project authorized by Grant to rebuild the relationship between the North and the South. After his presidency, Grant decided to go into business with his son and with a man named Ferdinand Ward. The business was successful, but unfortunately, once the business made money, Ferdinand Ward ran off with it, leaving Grant and his son broke. After Grant developed lung cancer from all the smoking he had done, he quickly had to finish his memoirs so his family would not go broke after Grant had died. Once Grant had died in 1885, the entire country mourned him as the Union general who saved the country from tearing into two pieces.
I'm Bidoli, and thank you for watching my video.